feel like social media has taken away the love and the fun of coloring. Chinese lantern page was my favorite. I'm doing everything myself and hire illustrators to do it, which I'm not throwing hate or shade or anything. Teachers now more than ever are burning out. I became really depressed. I posted that video and I went to bed, and the next morning I woke up and it was at like 300,000 views. And I was like, hey, hi, hello, coloring besties. Welcome back to the side of YouTube, coloring besties. Today we are going to be doing a little coloring Q&A, a little life Q&A. I put it up on my Instagram. Hey, I'm doing a Q&A because I've gained a lot of followers here on Instagram and YouTube. Like, I truly have been loving Instagram. Like, I love Instagram. I love posting on Instagram. I love posting on YouTube. I'm really trying to like diversify my content on each platform so you're not seeing like the same things on everywhere on each platform. And I'm really trying to build other platforms. If you're new here, welcome back to the channel. I am a coloring content creator here on Media, and I also run a small business where every single month I send out a coloring bundle for $9 a month, or you can do my $10 a month art bundle, which comes with a 5x7 illustration that I did myself. And I'm currently working on my coloring book, and because we're on the YouTube, I will give you guys a little glimpse at my first page of my coloring book and my main characters. And this is a little Chinese lantern festival moment. I'm obsessed with her. These are going to be my main characters. You guys, this coloring book is going to be incredible. Like, I am so proud of it. I finished another page yesterday. I finished my 8th page yesterday, and I'm so excited to color it. Like, I was working on a coloring book about a year ago and I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't like, this isn't it. I wasn't vibing with it. It just like didn't get me excited to color. And as I design these pages, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to color these pages and share it with you guys. And as I'm designing them, I'm imagining like what you guys will create with the pages, the lighting effects, the designs, the details, the themes, the recreations. And it's like, I'm so excited. Like, and I'm so proud of it. And it's just taken me such a long time. I'm like 8 out of 20 of the pages done. And then I'm like, okay, I need to do the cover photo, the back photo, the intro page, the dedication page, the this book belongs to page, the testing color page. Like, it's probably going to be about 30 pages. So yeah, that's a fun little tidbit, and just like to show YouTube, you know, give you a little sneak peek as to what is going to be happening. Okay, so the first question is, you inspired me to start coloring, went out, bought all the things. I love that. I love that you did that, because that's exactly what I did like 2 years ago when Color Talk like started trending. And I, for the longest time, was putting off buying the markers, and I distinctly remember making a video, because at the time I was making teacher content, and I posted a video on the teaching platform, and I was like, I need someone to tell me the markers to buy, the coloring books to buy. And I'm so glad that I did, because hello, I am where I am now because of that moment. And I try to be frugal. I try to like limit how much I spend on myself and all of these things. And I remember seeing the markers were $45 for 48 of them, and I was like, oh. So when you see the prices of Woohoo, I understand. But at the same time, it is so worth it. Like, I literally still have that pack to this day. Like, I literally still use those markers 2 years ago today. And they were the best investment ever. Okay, so she says, need help blending. I'm gonna give you a few tips, just because it's not really like a sit down and color video, and I will definitely do like how to properly blend, how to properly color. I'm actually kind of starting like a series on my Instagram of like tutorials and things like that. If that's something, make sure to go check that out. I've done water, cobblestone, and what's my most recent one? Oh, I did a flower bed, a flower field tutorial thing. So for blending, it is a very like time consuming process, but the most important thing with blending is to just like remain calm. Because I see a lot of people say like, oh my gosh, it's so stressful and I'm so scared. And it's like, it's okay. Trust the process is like the biggest thing for blending. And with that being said, like when you are getting ready to blend your colors, what I like to do, here, let me just get a marker. Okay. So I've got my marker. I literally, oops, wrong side. I literally just leave out my markers. I leave out all my colors. So using 3, 4, 5, 6 colors. I will leave them out like this, I just like set them on my table. So then as I'm like going through all the colors, I'm grabbing them, I'm getting them. Some people might not recommend it because it dries them out. I've genuinely never had an issue with doing it. So I don't know. Do with that as you will. So as you have said markers just like out and open on your table next to you, and in my coloring videos, I also like show you guys that a lot. I show you my process. I show you like my thought. I like explain out loud my thought process of how I like do these things and how I outwork them. Okay, so now that you have all your markers laid out, you're gonna start lightest to darkest, and you want to work your way from the bottom to the top, depending on the color. So, you know, you do your little yellow and then you're like, oh, I want to hit my orange. So the most important part is to leave like a centimeter, or not a centimeter, like a millimeter of just like really wet marker. So then you're gonna go in with your orange and you're gonna blend that together really fast, and then you're gonna pick up your yellow and you're gonna blend it together really fast. I don't use the like blending marker at all. I've had a lot of you ask like, what do you use it for? I've used it for like a denim effect before on pants, and I've used it before on like creating bubbles, but I'm not too like sure what it is designed for, because it essentially just distorts the color of what you're using. So I don't necessarily use it for blending, to be honest. So now that you have all of your colors layered out, right, and you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, there's harsh lines everywhere, it looks so poorly blended, it's okay, I got you. So your next step is you are going to take your darkest layer first and you're going to work your way down. So as we started, we went lightest to darkest. So now that you have your whole background colored, you're going to go darkest to lightest, because this will create the cohesiveness, it will blend it all together, it will look so beautiful. I literally just posted a video, a coloring video, my Valentine's Eve coloring photo. I color in the VV Tinta coloring book with the hot air balloon. I show you that process, and I show you, because I have a blending issue in that video. And I still post it because hello reality, hello artist, hello we make mistakes, and trust the creative process, and I want to share that with you guys. So if you do want to see that like in full action, definitely go check that out. I posted that on my Instagram and TikTok. I'm not like doing this to like plug or like promote me. I just like genuinely like that's a tutorial that you guys can look to and find like helpful tips and tricks and all of that. Next question, do you use a color wheel to help you choose colors? No, I don't use a color wheel. I use my A swatch cards. I use B. One thing that is really amazing is Pinterest. If you type in like a color palette on Pinterest, so for instance, if you want to type in spring flower, or you would go to Pinterest and you would type in spring flower color palette, and it comes up with like all of these color palettes that you use for like inspiration. Now, what you can do with said color palettes when you look them up on Pinterest is then go find them in your color markers, but sometimes you can type in like a hoo-hoo color palette for XYZ on Pinterest, and a lot of people have like created it and like posted it. Yeah, look it up on Pinterest. Pinterest is an amazing place for helpful like colors and textures and patterns, and I really should get on Pinterest. I should start posting my coloring pages on Pinterest. I'm sure they're on there. You guys, literally the other day I found a fake Facebook page of my like Instagram and TikTok. Like people had been like screen recording my stuff and posting it on Facebook as me. The like account has no followers, so we're good. But at the same time, that was like the first time I had found something like that, and it was actually really scary because hello, somebody trying to impersonate me to make money is very scary. I don't use a color palette. I don't use a color wheel. I use the swatch cards. Swatch cards are literally the most important thing. I haven't finished my swatch cards for my 320 set of Ohuhu markers. It's okay. I kind of just like have a feel. I always keep a piece of paper next to me. And Pinterest, your color swatch sheets, and always have a piece of paper to the side to like swatch your colors. I also like to pick out my colors beforehand, especially if there's like a color palette or like a color thing I'm trying to go for. And I typically like show you guys, I'm like, oh, these are the 5 colors that I'm basing everything out of, or these are the 10 colors, things like that. And I've been really trying to get better about sharing the color codes with you guys after I'm done posting it in like a photo wheel or like a photo thing. So you guys have really been enjoying that, which is super cool. Next question. Hey, coloring bestie. My question is, what is something cozy you can't live without? Love you. I love you too. Something cozy I can't live without. I'm gonna break it down into two categories. I'm gonna break it into my office, and I'm gonna break it into like my own home and like my personal life. So in my office, I have string lights, and I know that like string lights aren't everybody's taste. Some people may say string lights are for Christmas. Well, to that I say I love Christmas string lights. I have them up all year, and I truly think that they make my office feel so cozy. Let alone if you don't like string lights, okay? Cozy lighting in your space, in your coloring space, in your coloring nook, in your art room, wherever it is, just cozy lighting. Like literally you can see I have 3 light sources, 1, 2, 3, and I'm still learning how to like edit it and like get it into the frame and like work it with my camera, things like that. So like coloring space and like your coloring nook, art room, cozy lighting, because I don't like big overhead lighting. I have one in my office. I never use it. I want it actually to be gone and put up like a cute little chandelier thing. I don't know. But cozy lighting for your coloring space, it will do wonders. It will set the vibe. It will change the atmosphere. Yes, just cozy lighting. Okay, the next thing for like my personal life, my personal household, is a big comfy couch. We bought our couch from Rooms to Go like 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and it was the first time we had ever bought or like invested in a big piece of furniture. It is a big Bahama Mama couch. Like it is a sectional, it has a lounger. I love this couch. I think it's worth it. I think it's beautiful. I will say after the 5 years, we do have animals, so keep in mind our animals go on our furniture, so that will cause wear and tear a lot faster as if we didn't. But I am obsessed with having a big comfy couch. Like it was always a dream of mine to have a big couch, and we have it, and I love it, and I'm obsessed with it. I'm honestly ready for a new couch. I'm kind of over the dark gray. I would really love like a beautiful velvet green couch for our space, because we have such a big open area of like bright lighting, and I'm like a neutral girly when it comes to like styling our like inside house. So I would love just a big new couch, big comfy cozy couch, but it's lasted the 5 years. So that's what I would say for like my personal life, something cozy, a big cozy seating space. Like that was the best thing I think we invested in. My husband on the other hand would say otherwise. He thinks it's uncomfortable now. He doesn't really like it anymore, but I'm still like in love with it. I think I'm just sentimental to it because I'm a sentimental girly. I'm just really sentimental to it because it was we bought our house, and then we're like, oh, we should really invest in like nice furniture now that we bought a house. So we went together, we went in little Rooms to Go, and we loved the lady, and she was so nice, and we made like a connection with her, and it was a time. But if any couch brands on here that see this want to work with me and give me a new couch, I would love that. That'd be amazing. Anyways, next question. How do you know what and where to add highlight? Well, some may say I over add highlights. Some may say I do too much highlights, because I know this because I have a lot of people that comment like, oh, you ruined the page with too much white highlights. Oh, you shouldn't have done that. Oh, there's too much white on the page and things like that. And I'm like, oh, whoa. Whose coloring page is it? Thank you. So yeah, that's how I feel. I love adding white highlight. My top one is my Grabby white highlighter, my Uniball Signo white pen, and then Jelly Roll is kind of like, she was my number one, and then I think they got really popular and like the manufacturer changed or like something changed, and then the quality just kind of like went down a little bit. So I reach for my Jelly Roll like the last. The first one I'm going to go to is my Grabby white acrylic marker. My next one I'm going to go to is my Uniball Signo. It also depends on the consistency, right? Because the Grabby acrylic pen is acrylic paint. The Uniball Signo is pen. So it gives like different textures. It gives different like finishing feel. Okay. So for how I figure out how to add white highlight and detail and all of that. So I'm just going to stick to white highlight, right? We're going to just focus on white highlight for a second. How I figure out where I want to add white highlight is if it's a character, I always want to like focus on their face and bring attention to like pivotal points of their face. So like their cheeks, their nose, their forehead, their hair, the back of their hair, like the ends of their hair. If it's like their body, I always want to do like their elbow and their knees to just indicate that it is a critical like piece on the page. Now for like flowers and trees and food and things like that, I just kind of go crazy and I do whatever feels right. That is the beautiful thing about coloring, and I like feel like social media has taken away the love and the fun of coloring is the amount of like criticism that's out there, because coloring is just meant to be fun. It's just meant to be a distressor, and it's like been built up to this big thing of like, you can only post it if you've blended 75 times and you've colored over the black lines and you've added pretty flowers. And I get it, and you're like, that's so easy for you to say, Kat, because you do XYZ. I'm like, I get it, but at the same time, like, I used to not be able to do all these things. Like, I've just colored so much and I practiced so much that it just, I just gotten better. And that's like, that's literally with anything. As you practice, as you build the skill, you get better. So I put wet highlights anywhere, everywhere, and I absolutely love adding white highlights. You'll never catch me skipping out on them is all I'm gonna say. Next question. I need help with trees, grass, and shrubs. Greenery. One of my favorite things to color. Now, when you do anything with greenery, I suggest always picking out 3 to 4 greens that you are going to work with. That's going to be your color palette. Because I'm going to tell you, when you do trees, the more you want it to look lively, the more layers you're going to have to do, the more colors you're going to have to do. And I'm not saying it's like a bad thing, or I'm not saying it's going to like, I don't know. Like, you just always want to have a solid few colors of green that you're going to be working with. And you want them to be the same like hue of green. So you don't want to have like a drastically blue hue green and then a very drastically like yellow hue green. You want them to be like in the same like color scheme, if that makes sense. So this is where going into Pinterest would be like really helpful for you to grab like a green color palette off Pinterest and then go to your markers or whatever set of markers you have or colored pencils, and then use that to create your green palette. So from there, you are going to want to like swatch them. You're going to want to put them in order. You're going to want to figure out what technique you're going to want to do. So for greens, I always go lightest to darkest. Just like blending, greenery is the same thing. You want to go lightest to darkest. So I will color, like if I'm coloring a big plant, I will go in and color the whole thing the lightest green. I'll then go in and I will start to kind of make my way, work from the top to the bottom, but leaving that bottom portion the lightest, literally like blending, because you want it to create kind of like a gradient feel, a gradient effect, and then just like working your way. If you want to do some little dots or like slashes to represent leaves. Again, I've posted so many tutorials of like how to color trees and things like that, or like in my coloring videos I show you guys how, so definitely make sure to go check those out. But a solid color palette and going lightest to darkest and building is your biggest thing. Okay, next question. How do you decide which theme or tone you will color your page? Well, that is genuinely gonna just be like dependent on what kind of page I'm coloring. If I'm coloring a happy hot air balloon, I'm typically gonna go for a brighter color scheme or like happy colors. If I'm coloring a bedroom, I'm gonna figure out what theme do I want it to give? What kind of vibe do I want it to give? Do I want it to give like LED gamer girl room? Or do I want it to give pastel sewing coquette era, right? And then that will determine ultimately what colors you're gonna pick. Again, shout out to Pinterest. Like if you want a bedroom theme, so like if I am doing a kitchen scene or any house scene, I'll typically kind of look up like, what's the theme I want to look up? What's the theme I want? Do I want it to be like greens? I did bathroom page not that long ago and I love a green bathroom. So I looked up like green bathroom inspiration. Like real bathroom real bathroom images like on Pinterest. And then I take that and then I like put it into my brain for like visionary of coloring it on said page, right? So that's pretty much how I figure out my theme. I genuinely like don't try to overthink it, because then when you overthink it, you second guess yourself, and when you second guess yourself, you don't efficiently work, right? I really try not to second guess myself and just go with my gut, go with my instinct and go. And that's what I encourage you to do. Figure out what you want the page to give, kind of come up with a vision of what you want it to look like, and then like execute that vision. Next question, how to blend Ohuhu markers with Colors Blender Mine looks bad. Okay, I literally was just talking about this blender. You guys, I should probably make a whole video like dedicated to this blender because I don't use it really at all. I try to stay away from it. I will just like manually blend my markers. Like if I'm coloring them all together. Like I said again, all that the like blender marker does is distorts the color. It doesn't like actually help blend. You know what? I actually will probably do a video dedicated just to the blender. That's a great idea. So just stay tuned for that. Next question. Do the marker tips get ruined / stained when you're blending lighter and darker colors together? Yes, they do. And why I think it does this is because when you are working with the lighter color and then moving it into a darker color, if the darker color like page is still wet from coloring before, that lighter tip is gonna like get wet and it's gonna get full of that color. It's like water painting, right? Watercoloring. Like if you take your brush and you put it in the yellow and then you go put it in the purple, it's gonna mix. So I think it just happens. I have taken like a paper towel before and like have cleaned the tip of like my yellows or my light greens and things like that. So it's a super easy fix, but yeah, they do blend together and it gets kind of like, you know, messy, but it's okay. It's an easy fix. Next question. How long on average does it take you to complete one picture? So when I first started coloring, I would say it probably took me about an hour or so. But now that I'm like 2+ years into this, I would say I'm sitting at my desk for probably about anywhere 3 to 4 hours. Because keep in mind, I'm filming, I'm editing, I'm picking colors, I'm sometimes got a show on. It depends the type of video I'm doing. If I'm doing a voiceover, it will typically go faster. But it takes me a minute. And everybody's like, well, what about your neck and what about your back? Yeah, I do suffer with like neck and back pain and shoulders because of like, well, I work at a desk now, so and then I color, so my body doesn't see the effects of me anymore of like standing at a job. So I do try to be really intentional about moving my body every day. So I do stretch every day. I do work out. I try to work out almost every day, or go for a walk every day. I try to do some form of exercise every day that gets my heart rate up and gets my like muscles and bodies moving. But yeah, anywhere from an hour to 4 hours. I think my longest page that I did was about 6 hours, but that was like through spurts. Like I'd pick it up, I'd put it down. I'd pick it up, I would do the hour challenge. I did that. Oh, you know what? I kind of want to get back into that again. I'd do an hour, I'd set it down. I would do an hour, I'd set it down. I did that in 6 spurts and it took me about 6 hours. So I think that was the longest I've done. But if I'm just kind of like sitting there, anywhere from an hour to 3. Next question. Tell me all the things about your coloring book. I'm so excited. Okay, so my coloring book is based off of like 2 bears, and they could be romantic, they could be siblings, they could be friends. Like I'm trying to keep it very like, you can have it be whoever you want it to be and you can create it to be whatever you want it to be. I also have more characters than just bears, keep in mind. So I am just so excited. I don't want to give like too much away because I'm still like working on it really heavily. But I'm so proud of it and I'm so excited. I showed you guys the little picture at the beginning. I'm 8 pages in. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm like starting to print them to be able to like take pencil and see them like full page and go in to fix the like details and for me to be able to like reproduce them. Do I like the like pen size? Do I like the line size? Is it gonna like color nicely? Because that's the stuff I haven't even started yet, is coloring them so they could, you know, figuring out the paper quality, what poundage do I want it to be printed on, and then we haven't even talked about like the production of the book. So I'm still trying to figure out if I want to self-produce and like self-publish or if I want to go through like a print shop. I'm still kind of like figuring out those little details, but you're gonna fall in love with them. You're going to be able to either just quote unquote flat color is what the coloring community calls it, or you're going to be able to spend, you know, 6+ hours on these pages. and I'm so proud of it. Like, I'm doing everything myself, and you sometimes see creators on here that like hire illustrators to do it, which I'm not throwing hate or shade or anything. And they'll hire illustrators to do it, and then they like publish it, and they like say, you know, buy me or buy that person. But it hits different when you are illustrating and you are creating it and all yourself. And like, you guys as my following and like my community recognize that, and recognize like I'm just doing everything. I'm figuring it out. Nobody's helping me besides my amazing husband where he can and how he will, but I'm figuring it out all by myself, and it is very fun, and I feel like I've gained so much knowledge, and I definitely want to like kind of share that knowledge and what I'm learning and how I'm producing it. I really do want to start like a coloring book series of like walking through everything that I have done and everything that I've learned and how to produce to inspire you guys, because literally anybody can do this. Literally, you don't even need an iPad to do this, right? Like, you can do it. I have a friend that's like, oh my gosh, Kat, I want to learn and I want you to teach me, and it's amazing. Like, it's so cool, the power of creativity and the power of connection and the power of community. But I don't really know what else to share because your girl is deep in production. I did 2 pages yesterday and they are so cute. And I think I did like currently my top favorite, the Chinese lantern page. Let me just show her again. The Chinese lantern page was my favorite, I think, but now she's second. And then I want to start like hanging them up on my wall because inspiration, and then you guys kind of see them. So yeah, I think I'm reaching towards end of March to publish. That is the goal. That is what oh my gosh, I just get so excited. I can't believe it. Next question. How did you get inspired to start posting your coloring content? Fun fact, I many years ago used to have an Instagram that I would like post calligraphy things on. I'd make like a painting. I was really passionate about my faith at that point in my life, so I was like posting scripture pages. I would like watercolor a canvas, and then I would do a scripture in like calligraphy on it, and I would sell them, and I'd post it for like $15, and the first person to comment got it, and then I would deliver it to their house. So who knows where those pieces are now, who knows if they still have them, but I didn't seal them. I don't even think I painted like the edges of the canvas. Just baby artist things, like baby artist things when you just want to start selling your art. And I was looking to make a little bit of a side hustle because I was in school full time, and I was also working full time outside of school on top of painting. It was a whole thing. In like December of 2020 is when I got into my illustrations that I am thinking about opening again for like commissions, and I'm obviously like way better at them now because I did like a practice one not that long ago, and then I compared it to my old one. I'm like, wow, yeah, we got a lot better, girly pop, which is great. This is amazing. And I opened up like the digital illustrations, and I like was kind of doing like commission pieces because I was trying to save up money to buy myself an Apple Pencil, because I was doing this all like with my mouse on my computer at that point. I never had a PC set up, and at the time my husband had an extra PC, and he set it up for me, and I was paying for Photoshop at that point. And I was like hand drawing everything, and it was a whole mess. So I was really working towards the goal to buy myself my Apple Pencil. That's why, you know, you might hear me say that all the time, because it's really like, I'm proud of myself for it, because I hustled to get it. I inherited my iPad when my father passed away, and I wanted to do something like kind of just to honor him with art, and I did. I worked really hard to save up the money to buy my Apple Pencil, and my husband took me to Best Buy, and I bought my little Apple Pencil, and it's still the iPad I use to this day. It's still the Apple Pencil I use to this day, and I'm so proud of it, and it's so cool to like see and have, you know? Yeah. Okay, so then I moved on. I was in college, I graduated, moved into education. At the time I was posting like teaching content. I would like to be a public education teacher. I wasn't posting anything negative. My whole thing was trying to be a positive voice in the midst of like education crisis. Like, I feel like teachers now more than ever burning out. They are leaving the classroom. Passionate teachers like myself are leaving the classroom. The children are off the walls. The reading comprehension levels are at an all-time low. Like it really is an education crisis. And I was trying to be a positive voice in the midst of the crisis and the chaos and the darkness, because all I was seeing on my feed at that point was negativity about education. So I just shared motivational things. I shared fun activities I was doing in my room, and I just was trying to be like a voice of hope and a voice of, you know, joy. Ended up this whole thing ended up happening where I couldn't post anymore. I needed to delete all my teaching content, whatever. And I became really, 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 really depressed because I wanted to continue posting about education. It was my passion. I loved teaching. At that point, I loved teaching. At that point, I became really depressed. I had built my TikTok up to 50,000 followers. I was getting insane views. I was starting to make some money, which I was so grateful for. And I was on fire. I was on fire to inspire other teachers and to help provide resources. And I was starting up a teacher pay teacher to like share my, you know, worksheets and all the things in my coloring. I was designing actually coloring pages for my students at that time for our classroom, which in hindsight is hilarious to look at now. And yeah, so I just became really sad. I worked really hard. I felt like I could build a business off of this. I had brands kind of starting to reach out to me, be like, hey, we'd love to send you this for your classroom and blah, 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 blah. And I felt like I was reaching like the point where, okay, I can really do something with this. And then have to delete it all. So became really sad, needed a coping mechanism, needed a new outlet. I picked up coloring, and I literally remember sitting on my couch and debating about if I should spend the $60 to buy the 48 pack of the Ohuhu markers, the Girl Moments coloring book by Coco Wyo, and the Little Corner Cute and Comfy coloring book by Coco Wyo. Those two coloring books. It's history. I bought the markers came in. I posted a video of me, like literally just like an ASMR video of me unboxing them, and that blew up. I posted one video, I posted the coloring video of actually this picture. Where is she? That picture right up there is the first video that ever blew up. I think it's at like 8 million views, 9 million views now. And my husband was out of town for work that night, and I remember crying before I did that page because I was just so sad. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna be sad anymore. I'm gonna post the I'm gonna film my process of my coloring and just like talk. And I posted that video and I went to bed, and the next morning I woke up and it was at like 300,000 views. And I was like, and I had gained, I think, like 5,000-ish followers overnight. People loved it. They were like, oh my gosh, what is all this stuff? Like, please keep posting coloring videos, because I was really like focused on ASMR coloring and like the sounds, and I was sharing like what colors I was using, and people were like, they loved it. They fell in love with it. I like consider myself a Bob Ross stem of creativity. Like, it literally, if you think about it, like it kind of is like a Bob Ross universe-ish thing. I don't know how to describe it, but I love Bob Ross. I've always loved Bob Ross, so I kind of look at it like that. So yeah, bought those markers, and the rest is history. So if you, that's what I'm saying, like if you've been wanting to try something and you've just been putting it off, you never know where it's going to lead you. You never know where it's going to take you. So now whenever I see those opportunities, I just go for it. I just go for it, because you never know what it can turn into. You never know what can blossom out of it. It might flop, it might succeed, it might fail, it might do average, but you never know until you try. So yeah, I look at being told to stop. I look at not being able to post teaching content anymore as a literal blessing, as a thank you God moment, because I am living the dream. I view like having to be told I couldn't do education content anymore inside the classroom. Keep in mind, I could post it outside of the classroom, so I could have, you know, filmed videos at home talking about it, but it just wasn't the same. But I view it as a blessing and God opening the door for me in so many different directions. And if that never would have happened, I don't think I would have like started posting coloring content. I would have still been in education very heavily, might have worked my way more towards like children publishing, which I do hope to work towards one day. And yeah, I look at it as a blessing and I thank God for it literally every day. I thank God for this opportunity and this life every single day, and I don't take it for granted. And yeah, that's it. I'm gonna stop there because I have been talking for quite some time now, but I just love yapping with you guys. So with all that to be said, thanks for hanging out. Let me know what you want to see next. And I'm so grateful for all of you. And if you want to join the coloring club, I'll have my shop linked below. And I will talk to you guys later. I love you. Keep coloring, keep being creative, and keep being you. And goodbye.